So we're gonna run what 5 bards in 5th edition?
That's 5 bards.
5 bards.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the most OP class, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What could go wrong running 5 bards? You have 5 counter spells.
That's true.
You have access to 9th level spells.
5 musicians.
For some reason, you could 5 bardic inspirations.
Right.
You're basically swinging like a fighter at that point.
Yep.
Hi, welcome to Guff Stuff Weekly Podcast. I'm Javen.
I'm Guff.
Today we're going to be talking about party composition and bullshit in D&D and tabletop RPGs.
Any tabletop RPG.
Pathfinder D&D will be mostly what we're talking about.
Also Darkest Dungeon.
Darkest Dungeon, yeah. That's a good one.
If you don't have a nice composition of that game.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just talk about party composition in general. So, back to our original idea
5
here.
bards?
5 bards.
Let's do it.
I mean, why not?
Well, I don't know. The first melee guy that gets in on him might be mangling him a little bit.
That's fair.
I don't know. Gotta think of any other reason why you wouldn't have 5 bards.
5 paladins?
5 paladins would be OP. I think they'd be almost unkillable.
How about this? 3 bards, 2 paladins.
That would be a pretty... let's make it.
I don't think you could beat that.
No, I don't know if you could.
And maybe throw 1 Circle of the Moon Druid in there.
There you go. Yeah, that'd be the weak link, though.
You think so?
I think so.
I think in the mid game, yes, but early game and late game, I think they held their own just fine.
Paladins all have auras, which are huge.
Yeah.
If you look at any of those paladins, and each of them have different types of auras they have. And I mean, I've almost made a high level paladin just because the auras are alone.
Yeah, you don't even need to do it. You just stand there.
Right, 30-foot aura, and all you have to do is stand within 30 feet of somebody. Yeah. Psh.
All right, so traditional party composition. We look at Lord of the Rings. That is your traditional party composition.
Hey.
You have the 2-weapon fighter with the bow. So you have the ranger, which is Legolas.
Yep.
You have the archer plus longsword user, which is your fighter. That's Aragorn.
Okay.
You have Gimli. He's your dwarf. Just dwarf.
Yep.
Or dwarf fighter, however you want to look at it.
Right.
And then you have Gandalf, who's your wizard. He's actually like a wizard cleric.
Yeah.
You really think about it?
Gandalf the Grey or Gandalf the White?
So, okay. Ooh, here we go.
Oh.
Gandalf the Grey is more of like a cleric, I feel like.
I don't know. Anybody else feel that way? No?
We have 2 non-participants in the room.
They're being quiet. They don't want to say nothing.
But Gandalf the White is definitely a wizard.
Yeah.
High-level wizard. Also, can we talk about how rude it is that Gandalf told the whole party to leave while he soloed the Balrog and got all the XP for himself?
That's true. That is not good party composition, Gandalf.
That's bad party tactics, too.
Yeah, what if he'd have failed?
Oh, you have your thieves with Frodo and Samwise.
And... Sam? Call him a thief?
They're halfling thieves.
You think Sam is, though?
No, he might be a halfling cleric, actually.
He's something. I don't know what he is. He might be just a peasant, but he's like the hero of the movie.
He's the true.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Sam, the whole movie would have failed.
The whole series would have done for.
They didn't need the rest of the characters. They just needed
because
Sam.
Frodo crippled in the end.
Yeah, Sam saved his butt.
Because Frodo's kind of a hoe.
Yes.
Anyways, some other. So your traditional party composition is basically X amount of fighters.
Yeah, the melee class. So it could be barbarian, ranger, fighter, paladin.
A rogue or a bard, typically.
Yep.
Typically a rogue.
Yep.
Some sort of spellcaster, usually 2 spellcasters. You want an arcane and a priestly spellcaster.
You got a healer and a DPS.
Yeah, a healer and an AoE DPS, yeah. And then, basically, you sprinkle in however many fighters you think you need.
That sounds good.
Yeah. That's your basic party composition. And it's kind of funny because you could take this and put it in almost every game. Like you mentioned Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah.
So we're going to go from tabletop RPGs just away for a little second.
Right. Well, it's the same thing, though. I mean, you need to have a good composition.
Yeah, you got to have a frontliner.
Otherwise, you die.
Sometimes you need to have 2 frontliners.
Yeah.
You always need some sort of healer. And then you typically bring a either a ranged hero or some sort of like debuffing hero or caster type,
Right.
basically. With the Plague Doctor, the
I don't remember
Grave
the names of any of
Digger.
that stuff.
There's a bunch of them.
There are quite a few.
But typically you're always bringing a Paladin or a Hellion or some sort of frontliner.
Right. Well, yeah, because you need that for the same reason in Pathfinder. Well, we canceled the session. We're gonna fight a boss, and the group struggles with mini bosses with 2 melee guys and a healer and some DPS guys. But if we lose a melee guy, it's not good because then all the damage is going to go to one guy. The healer only gets so many turns around.
So the trouble with our Pathfinder group is we have 2 tanks.
Yep.
Neither one of them is a DPS.
Right.
Like, sure, I can get criticals with my
Right.
weapon and get some, like, random bouts of greatness.
Yep.
But I'm not a true DPS.
Right. I don't know if you guys have a true DPS.
We don't have a true DPS. That's our problem. We don't have anybody that just consistently deals damage.
Right.
We needed a wizard or a sorcerer.
Or a nice rogue.
A good rogue would have been fine.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of support class.
Because we have a support cleric
Yep.
as a healer, which honestly I think you have to have.
Yeah. Well, she does fine keeping y'all alive, that's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to go so far into healing necessarily.
Right.
But it's nice to have all the heals.
You have a bard.
The bard has pretty good utility now. But he's not dealing damage.
No.
He's not good at anything. He's just okay at everything.
Right.
And then we have the alchemist, which has been basically the most disappointing
class so far. Yeah.
So far. It feels like the Ranger of 5th edition.
Yeah.
You know, the Ranger of 5th edition Ranger is just horrible. Pathfinder 2 Alchemist. I don't know if he's... Someone out there's probably like, well, actually...
Probably.
The Alchemist has the highest DP. Look, for the average Joe, building your Alchemist...
Right.
It's not very good.
Doesn't seem to be. Maybe there's just, I don't know. Maybe it's a particular play style. This particular player wanted to play it. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Or maybe it's just a weak archetype. I don't know. But whatever it is, it feels like, and this has nothing to do with the player. This is everything to do with the system and the character.
Yeah, we'll blame the player. It's fine.
Yeah, we can blame the player too.
Yeah.
Gamer Joe.
Gamer Joe did it.
Mm-hmm. It just feels like they're not carrying their weight because they're not tanking stuff.
No.
They're not, like, they'll apply a debuff every once in a while.
Right, or a small,
but it's like
damage over time.
It's like they throw a lightning flask for 1d8 damage, which
in Pathfinder,
it's nothing.
At the level they're at now, should be.
It's a joke.
4 damage.
It's a joke. It's literally a joke. But it will apply the flatfoot status effect.
Right.
Woo! Guess what? I can do that for a free action on my turn with a charm.
Right.
It's just everything that they get feels like something else gets it for cheaper and more efficient.
Right.
Tanglefoot bags. Like, I still don't know what they do because they just don't seem impactful. He's throwing, I don't know how many of them.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what they do because it just
doesn't seem to do
doesn't
much.
do anything.
I think it makes things flat-foot again.
Is it just flat foot or is it difficult terrain?
Maybe difficult terrain. I don't know.
But it's like 5 feet of difficult terrain. So it's like, oh great, you take 10 feet to move through it.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the class is underwhelming.
Okay, so here's my question. This is like the natural progression of this. What do you do if you feel like your character or your party comp isn't good? How do you rectify that while you're in a game? Everybody's invested in the game.
Right.
Everybody is invested in their characters. How do you rectify having a quote unquote bad character? Or a weak character?
Well, I would give anybody an opportunity to switch their character.
Yeah.
You know, especially in the type of campaign we're in now. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to take one law enforcement agent out and put another one in.
Yeah.
You know, you've lost character, and so is Fluffy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hard to put new characters in just because of the way we now. If we're out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of the bushes, dungeon crawling or saving the world somehow, it'd be a little tougher maybe. But
Yeah.
But then again, does a player want to give up that character? And hope that one day
that's part of it too. Is that
character becomes what it wants it to be?
This goes back to one of our previous episodes of communication. How do you?
That just got me a dirty look. Okay, sorry. Don't throw pinky erasers.
Where was that? Oh yeah. Back to one of our previous episodes of communication. How do you go about talking to your player and being like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but Billy the Goblin
is just not good.
It's just horrible. He's just not good. He's just weak. He's literally a liability."
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just tell him. I think he knows though, because when we talked about counseling yesterday, he's like, "I'll just roll up a barbarian," or what was the other one? You remember? Yesterday, the characters he was talking about making, barbarian or what? Wizard. Barbarian or wizard.
Wizard would have been fine.
I think I'll give him that option after this boss fight. If I don't target and kill him on purpose.
I think you need to give him the option before the boss fight.
You think so?
So we have a freaking chance against the boss.
True, because you guys didn't meet the Grey Cloaks. Or not the Grey Cloaks,
It's the Grey Cloaks.
Is it the Grey? Yeah, that Grey Hand is the...
Grey Hand is the Waterdeep one.
The Waterdeep one. So yeah, you guys met Grey Cloaks. How hard would it be for one of those Grey Cloaks to go, "Hey, I'm joining your party, man." And then the little Charhide's like, "Yeah, see you later, suckers."
Yeah.
Takes off and disappears into the... I'll ask him and see if he's interested.
I hope he is. I sincerely hope he is.
I think he understands that I think he's a little disappointed too.
Well, I mean, the concept is fun. It's cool. The role-playing opportunities are there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm sorry, this is a crunchy game.
Yeah.
This is a game about numbers, and you're just not putting up the numbers. Okay, here's a good example. Uh-oh. Dennis Rodman. For any of you that watches basketball, he's probably the greatest rebounder of all time.
Yep.
That man put up no points hardly.
Right.
No assists. Nothing.
No.
But you know what he was good for? 20 rebounds a game.
Yeah. That's true.
He was good at doing something. He could put up his numbers.
That was pretty much
it, though. That's all they needed out of him. They needed him to put up his numbers, and it brought the Chicago Bulls to 3 championships.
Was it only 3 when he was there? Or was it 5 total? Because they had 5 championships, didn't they?
I don't remember.
During the time Jordan and Pippen were there?
It might have been 5.
I don't know if Rodman was there for all of them, but pretty close. Yeah. That team was a pretty smooth team.
It was good.
That's party composition.
Exactly. That's good party composition.
That was perfect.
You have the DPS and Michael Jordan.
Yep.
You have the cleric of Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
And you have the tank, Dennis Rodman.
Yep. Go up there and bully everybody at the net to get the ball back.
Exactly. That's a prime example. That's probably over a bunch of, I don't know if anybody. Okay, the 90s.
No, everybody knows who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah, the 90s Chicago Bulls are a pretty ubiquitous thing. Everybody should at least have an idea of what they are, unless if you're not from the United States, I guess. But even then, you still probably know the name Michael Jordan,
right?
I know the name Cristiano Ronaldo.
There you go.
Like, I don't watch soccer, but I know.
Yeah, there's what the heck's going on next door? Holy smokes!
Party.
I guess party in the USA. Maybe they're trying to party composition. They heard of some.
Yeah,
they're like building a good party over there. It's the wrong kind of party, boys.
Now, don't think that you always have to have a fighter, a cleric, a wizard, a rogue,
right?
Blah 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 blah. No, certain games don't call for that.
Right.
A good example is we were playing Cyberpunk. If you've listened to the episode on Cyberpunk, if you followed us for any amount of time, Cyberpunk, you don't need those classes because there are no classes. It's just like the classes are, hey, it's more of a role-playing thing, to be honest. There are certain benefits and perks you get for each class.
Right.
But it's not like integral to have a fixer in every party.
There's no levels either, is there?
No.
Yeah.
It's not integral to have a fixer in every party. It's not integral to have a solo in every party.
Right.
or a tech. It's not. You don't need one in every party. You could run 5 solos, and you would probably wreck house in that game. You could run 5 fixers, and you'd be so well equipped for everything that you could just.
Is that what Baba Yaga was solo?
Baba Yaga's a solo, yeah.
Nice.
Where else am I going with this? D&D. I've run very old school D&D games, like first edition, of all rogues.
Yep.
But the caveat of that is a lot of those were multi-classed.
Right. Yeah, extra class in like the wizard or the priest or whatever.
Yeah, so we had like a fighter thief. We had a fighter thief mage. We had a thief illusionist, right. Which is about the most useless.
Well, I think party composition you really need to. It has to be based on the campaign you're into.
Yeah.
So if you're in a city campaign, you don't necessarily need a barbarian. Most barbarians aren't city dwellers. They're forest dwellers.
If you're talking from like a role play standpoint,
right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just, and they don't like interact with the public very well.
That's the other thing. For a long time in my games, I did not let anybody play druids.
No.
Why would a druid go adventuring?
Right. They would. Well,
why?
Unless the plot said there's a reason. That's yeah. I mean, I played a druid one, but the whole world was literally being attacked by an evil power, and the druids did wake up and say, "Whoa, we can't have nature be killed because we're not doing our job."
That's like it, though.
That's, right? Yeah, that's about the only reason a druid would want to. Somebody was messing with their grove and like, okay, well, we can't have that.
And even then, it's like a high-level druid would just plane shift and go somewhere else.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Druids are just like the freaking weakest design class from a role-playing standpoint.
Well, that goes all the way back to first edition too. Is it druids? If you wanted to get past, I don't even remember. Was it 7th level where you had to start challenging other druids?
Druids.
Just to freaking take
monks too.
Monks too. Okay.
Monks and druid, like I don't know.
Why would a monk go adventuring?
Yeah, why would a monk go adventuring when you can just sit in your monastery
and pray and eat rice and drink milk?
The only time a monk would do it is that rare instance where a monastery gets killed by an evil guy.
There you go.
And you're the last soul survivor.
And you have to go find
him. And then you go training montage for 20 levels to go fight him.
There you go.
Like, there's reasons to play things, I guess. But some are weaker.
Yeah, for sure. Party composition is important.
If you want to look at one of the coolest way people have done druids, check out Palladium Fantasy. They actually went like historical druids.
Well, I think also a lot of places don't even use the word druid; they use the word shaman. You know, the nature thing, because that way, the typical druid literally is supposed to be somebody that protects the woods they live in, or the hill forest, or whatever. The area that they live in, that's their job.
So I'm going to get into a little backstory, a little etymology history, because I actually know about this.
These are big words. Etymology.
The word druid is a Gaul word, a Gallic word.
Okay.
Gaelic word, I guess.
Sure.
Call it. Is it Gaelic? Yeah. Is it Gallic or Gaelic?
Gaelic sounds better.
Yeah, it's Gaelic.
I think that's one. If we're wrong, go ahead and tell us, Scar.
Yeah, tell us. Tell me. Go ahead.
No? You wouldn't do it? Why? Scar's refusing to talk. I'm going to tag all of our friends in this video.
Perfect.
It's a podcast.
So the druids were mentioned in Caesar's... what's going on over there?
No idea. On a Saturday, too.
Yeah.
It's great.
The Gaelic Wars.
Yep.
When he was in Gaul, conquering Gaul, blah, 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 blah. And druids were... It was a term that was used specifically for, like, an official.
Yep.
It wasn't necessarily a religious official. It was a title.
Right.
Not a secret sect of...
Right.
Animal stabbing, human sacrifice.
Tree hugger.
A lot of that was made up by the Romans because they didn't understand what the druids actually were.
Right.
So, like, druid is actually probably more correct to be synonymous with shaman or even, like, chieftain.
Right. Okay. Well, let's see. I didn't know any of that. that's good. So then shaman does make sense
In a way, yeah.
in a lot of the games because that makes more sense to druid.
Yeah, shout out to the Histocrat if you ever want to listen to about a 45-minute video on the druids.
Right.
Very interesting. So,
nice.
kind of went all over the place with this one, but
it's okay.
Long story short, everything's viable. Just
uh-oh. We could get an earful coming here soon.
yeah.
Oh boy. So anyway, yeah. We got that under control. We got Raijin here now, so we're set. Raijin! No, okay, well. That's party composition. You bring your pet with you.
Yeah, bring your pet with you.
Animal companion.
If you're a druid or a ranger and you don't have a pet,
there's something wrong.
You're doing something wrong. Hey, buddy. All right, that's it for this week.
All right, later.